Hi everyone, this is Jillian Davis with Homeschool 101. Today, I'd like you to join me so that we can discuss some tips on how to discipline your children. The title of this video was created by my two daughters, and the title is Look Out for Little People, Don't Crush Your Kids. Okay? Look out for little people, don't crush your kids. So I just have a few short minutes because my children are at recess, their playtime, and they're going to be very bored with that soon. So I only have a few short minutes to go through these tips with you. So how do we discipline our children so that it leads to introspection as opposed to it leading them to hate? Okay, we don't want to discipline our children to the point where they hate us or hate themselves or hate others. So here are some tips that would lead to introspection. Show the child what choice was made. Okay, now before I continue, I do not always do these things every time I discipline, and sometimes I do mess up, and sometimes I have to go back and apologize to my children when I've messed up and I'm convicted that I was wrong. So please don't think that I do these things every single time. Maybe I'll do a few each time, but some of them I do make sure I do. For example, that first one, I show my children the choice that they've made, okay, that has led to them being disciplined. Okay, so I'll tell them why they're being disciplined. Show them that they have the power to make a choice. When you show them what choice was made, you immediately let them know that they have the power to choose. Okay, choices have consequences. Remind them of that. Remind them that there are other options to their behavior. Reveal opportunities for redemption. Okay? Remind them that every day is a brand new day to start over. Don't remind them of something that happened the day before or sometime prior, unless it's to show them a pattern. Okay? Commend the child when they are doing the right things. Commend them. Don't just when they do something wrong, get on them. Also, let them know when they've done something right. Don't let your anger bleed over into another activity or another day. Okay? Let your discipline stop right there. Do not punish a child more than once for the same thing. Okay? Watch your tone and facial expressions. This is something that, you know, culturally a lot of people do. Like, I could say from where I'm from in Guyana and many other cultures, when we get angry, we show it in our face. We just show it. We just, you know, we show, and we think we're showing anger and that it's appropriate, but actually that scares the children and it puts fear into them. So we should really avoid, you know, showing the children like really nasty expression on our face. Like, you know, you could be angry, but you don't have to just try and intimidate the children, you know, with your eyes and your facial expressions, because trust me, it will not work. It will work more when they see that you're disciplining them with calmness, and that you're monotonous, and that there are no strings attached. There are no it's not personal. Once it's personal and you're realizing that you're angry or you cannot control yourself, I would suggest, and I try to step away from the situation until I can really deal with the child professionally. That is what scares them, and that's what they understand. Okay? Let me see some other things that you could do. Yes, so I guess basically that's it. those are a few tips on how you can discipline a child, and it will lead them to introspection, which will lead them to repentance. Because introspection, they're going to look within in their quiet time, and they will think about that action that they did and what the consequences were. So now we would look at a few things that would lead to hate. Okay? Calling a child names, not giving them the time of day, not giving them a chance to hear their side of the story. Like I said, making fearful, horrible expressions on your face to show that you are upset. Generalizing, telling them you always do this, or you never do this or that. Okay? Telling them things like you can't do anything right, you're lazy, you know, any kind of names. Not giving them any choices, just telling them this is what you're gonna do and you're gonna do it. Not giving them a chance to redeem themselves. If a child mess up, you know, and they start doing some things that are appropriate, you know, perhaps you could come up with a system that you can give the child a chance to redeem themselves from the offense that they did before. Not giving them a bright new start in a new activity or the next day. Reminding them, you know, when you wake up the next morning and you're having breakfast, you have that same snarl on your face, that same, you know, it's an expression that tells a child that they're worthless. And we as adults would not want our bosses or our co-workers or people in our lives to look at us that way when we anger them. Okay? We'd call the police. We will feel as if our lives are being threatened. Okay? Punishing and disciplining children in front of everyone. I'm not always good at this, but I try my best to discipline the children aside from the other children. Call them aside and work with them individually, because if you do it in front of everyone, it makes them feel like they're the bad person in the group or in the family, and it also makes the other children, the other family members, treat that child very poorly for the remaining of, you know, their childhood, because they feel like their parents do not like the child, you know, their brother or sister, so they reciprocate the same thing. Okay? And all of this will lead to retaliation. So you might think that you're getting through to that child, but they actually will bottle up a lot of their emotions, and they will wait one day, and at the last straw, they will retaliate. Okay? So be very, very careful. And this will lead to hate. It will lead to serious emotional scars that years later you will experience the effects of what happened in childhood. So don't forget this one thing, that you can love someone into correct behavior. Okay? Thank you. That's all I have for now.